Life in the cities. Harappan cities was a very busy palace. There were people who planned the constructions of special buildings in the cities. Look at these were probably the rules. It is likely that the rulers sent people to distant lands to get metal, precious stone, and other things that they wanted. They may have kept the most valuable objects such as ornaments of gold and silver or beautiful beads for themselves. And there were scribes, people who knew how to write, who helped prepare the seals and perhaps brought on other materials that have not survived. Besides, there were men and women craft person making all kinds of things, either in their own homes or in special workshops. People were traveling to distant lands or returning with raw materials, and perhaps tourists made terracotta toys have been found, and children must have played with these. Make a list of people who lived in the city. Where any of these people listed as living in village such as a Mehergarh, sorry, top street in a Mohenjo-daro with a drain above a well. Look at well है, ये कुआं है. And okay, far left, a Harappan seal. The signs on the top of seal are a part of a script. This is the earliest form of writing known in the subcontinent. Scholars have tried to read these signs, but we still do not know extremely what they mean. Left, terracotta toy. Life in the cities. Harappan cities was a very busy palace. There were people who planned the constructions of special buildings in the cities. Look at these were probably the rules. It is likely that the rulers sent people to distant lands to get metal, precious stone, and other things that they wanted. They may have kept the most valuable objects such as ornaments of gold and silver or beautiful beads for themselves. And there were scribes, people who knew how to write, who helped prepare the seals and perhaps brought on other materials that have not survived. Besides, there were men and women craft person making all kinds of things, either in their own homes or in special workshops. People were traveling to distant lands or returning with raw materials, and perhaps tourists made terracotta toys have been found, and children must have played with these. Make a list of people who lived in the city. Where any of these people listed as living in village such as a Mehergarh, sorry, top street in a Mohenjo-daro with a drain above a well. Look at well है, ये कुआं है. Okay, far left, a Harappan seal. The signs on the top of seal are a part of a script. This is the earliest form of writing known in the subcontinent. Scholars have tried to read these signs, but we still do not know extremely what they mean. Left, terracotta toy. New craft in the cities. Let's look at some of the objects that were made are and found in Harappan cities. Most of the things that have been found by archaeologists are made of stone, shells, and metal, including copper, bronze, gold, and silver. Copper and bones were used to make tools, weapons, ornament, and vessels. Gold and silver were used to make ornaments and vessels. Perhaps the most striking find that are these of beads, weights, and blades. Look at here. This is the stone. Top stone weights. Notice how carefully and precisely these weights are shaped. These were made of chert, a kind of a stone. These were probably used to weigh precious stone or metals, right? Beads. Many of these were made out of carnelian beauty, a full red stone. The stones was cut. Okay, new craft in the city. Let's look at some of the objects that were made and found in Harappan cities. Most of the things that have been found by archaeologists are made of stone, shell, and metal, including copper, bronze, gold, and silver. Copper and bones were used to make tools, weapons, ornaments, and vessels. Gold and silver were used to make ornaments and vessels. Perhaps the most striking find are these of beads, weights, and blades. Top stone weights. Notice how carefully and precisely these weights are shaped. These were made of a chart of kind of stone. These were probably used to weigh precious stones or metals, right? Beads. Many of these were made out of carnelian, beautiful red stone. The stone was cut, shaped, polished, and finally a hole was bored through the center so that a string could be passed through it. Ferrite stone blades. Bottom right, embroidered cloth. A stone structure of an important man found from Mohenjo-daro show him wearing an embroidered garment. The Harappan also made seals out of stones. These are generally rectangular, as descriptions on page 35, and usually have an animal carved on them. The Harappans also made pots with a beautiful black design, such as the one shown on page 6 was a metal used in the village. You learn about in chapter 3 was stone used to make a weight. So cotton was probably grow at Mehergarh from about 7,000 years ago. Actual pieces of cloth were found attached to the lie of a silver vase and some copper object at Mohenjo-daro. Archaeologists have also found spindle swords. Fence, like a stone or shell that are found naturally. Fence is a material that is artificially produced. A gum was used to shape and sand or provided quartz into an object. The object were then glazed, resulting in a shiny, glassy surface. The colors of the glaze were usually blue or sea green. Fence was used to make beads, bangles, earrings, and tiny vessels made of terracotta and fence. These were used to spin thread. Many of the things that were produced were probably the work of a specialist. A specialist is a person who is trained to do only one kind of work. For example, cutting stone or polishing beads or carving seals. Look at the illustrations and see how well the face is carved and how carefully the beard is so. This must have been the work of expert craft person. Not everybody could have been a specialist. We do not know whether only men were specialized or only women were specialized. Perhaps Some women and men may have been specialists in such raw materials. Raw materials are substances that are either found naturally, such as wood or ores of metals, or produced by farmers or herders. These are then processed to produce finished goods. For example, cotton. Cotton produced by farmers is a raw materials that may be processed to make a cloth. वो एक रॉ मटेरियल्स है जो कॉटन खेत में होता है, जो हमें कॉटन, उससे हमें कॉटन मिलता है. वाइल सम ऑफ द रॉ मटेरियल्स दैट द हड़प्पन यूज्ड वेर अवेलेबल लोकली in many items such as copper, tin, gold, silver and precious stone had to be brought from distant palace. The Harappans probably got copper from present day Rajasthan and even from Oman in West Asia. Tin, which was mixed with copper to produce bronze, may have been brought from present day Afghanistan and Iran. Gold could have come all the way from present day Karnataka and precious stones from present day Gujarat, Iran and Afghanistan. How were goods carried from one palace to another? Look at the illustrations. One show a toy and the other is a seal. Can you suggest what the modes of transport used by the Harappans were? Did you come across illustrations of wheeled vehicles in earlier lessons? Food for people in cities. While many people lived in the cities, others living in the countryside grow crops and raised animals. These farmers and herders supplied food to craft persons, scribes and rulers in the cities. We know from remains of plants that the Harappans grow wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseeds and mustard. A new tool, the plug, was used to dig the earth for turning the soil and planting seeds, while real plug, which were probably made of wood, have not survived. Toy models have been found as these regions does not receive heavy rainfall. Some from irrigation may have been used. This means that water was stored and supplied to the field when the plants were growing. The Harappans reared cattle, sheep, goat and buffalo. Water and pastures were available around settlers. However, in the dry summer months, large herds of animals were probably taken to gather a distance in search of grass and water. They also collected fruits like bear, caught fish and hunted wild animals like the antelope. A closer look, Harappan towns in Gujarat. The city of Dholavira was located on Kabir Beat, also spelled at beat in the run of Kutch, where there was fresh water and fertile soil, unlike some of the other Harappan cities which were divided into two parts. Dholavira was divided into three parts and each part was surrounded with massive stone walls with entrance through gateways where public ceremony could be held. Other find included large letters of the Harappan script that were carved out of white stone and perhaps inlaid in wood. This is a unique find, and generally Harappan writing has been found on a small object such as a sea. The city of Lothal stood beside a tributary of the Sabarmati in Gujarat, close to the Gulf of Khambat. It was situated near areas where raw materials such as semi-precious stones were easily available. This was an important center for making objects out of stone, shell and metal. There was also a stone house in a city. Many seals and sealing the impressions of seal of one clay were found in the Tatron house. Look at here. A building that was found here was probably a workshop for making beads. Pieces of stones had made beads tools for bead making and finished bead have been found here. Seals or sailings. Look at here. Seals may have been used to stamp bags or packets connecting goods that were sent from one palace to another after a bag was closed to tied. A layer of wet clay was applied on the knot and the seal was pasted on it. The impressions of the seal is known as a sealing. If the sealing was intact, one could be sure that the goods had arrived safely. Seals are used even today. Find out what they are used for. My mystery of the end. Around 3,900 years ago, we find the beginning a major change. People stopped living in many the cities. Writing, seals, and weights were many longer used. Raw materials bought from long distance become rare. In Mohenjo-daro, we find that garbage piled up on the street. The drain system broke down and a new less impressive house were built. Even other over the streets. Why did all this happen? Where we are not sure. Some scholars suggest that the rivers dried up. Others suggest that there was a deflation. These covers have happened because fuel was required baking bricks and for smelting copper or beside grazing by large herds of cattle. Sea and goat may have destroyed the green covers. Some areas there were floods, but none of the reason can explain the end of all the cities. Flooding or a river drying up would have had effect in only some areas. It appears as if the rules lost control. In any case, the effects of the change are quite clear. Sites in Sindh and West Punjab, present-day Pakistan, were uploaded while many peoples moved into newer smaller settlements to the east and the south. New cities emerged about 1,400 years later. You will read about them in chapter 6 and 9. Elsewhere, find Egypt in your atolls. Most of Egypt is a dry desert except from the lands along the river Nile. Around 5,000 years ago, kings ruled over Egypt. These kings sent armies to distant lands to get gold, silver, ivory, timbers, and precious stones. They also built hug tombs known as pyramids. When look at here, pyramids. When the bodies of kings were preserved and buried in this pyramid. These carefully preserved bodies are known as mummies. A large number of objects were also buried with them. This included food and drink, clothes, ornaments, utensils, musical instruments, weapons, and animals. Sometimes even serving men and women were buried with the rulers. These are amongst the most embroidered bodies known in the world history. Do you think kings would have needed these things after that?